For most of human history, animal fat was the most prized substance in any kitchen, rendered slowly over winter fires. The jar of fat on the back of a Slavic, French or Jewish stove was food and medicine both. In 1911, a product called Crisco was launched with a marketing budget larger than any food campaign in history. And within 2 generations, every traditional fat had been replaced by seed oils refined with hexane and bleach. 7 fats were nearly erased. Pay close attention to number 1. And wait for number 4, because what kept Roald Amundsen alive, returning from the South Pole, was a fat his rival refused to eat. Number 7. Schmaltz, rendered. Chicken fat, the foundation of Ashkenazi Jewish cuisine for 1,000 years. Grandmothers across Eastern Europe kept a small crock of it on the back of the stove for cooking, for spreading on rye bread, and for soothing winter coughs in spoonfuls given to children. Schmaltz. Schmaltz contains monounsaturated fats nearly identical to olive oil, alongside vitamin A and a small amount of vitamin D depending on the bird's diet. It melts at low temperature, browns onions to a deep gold, and keeps for months in the refrigerator without going rancid. Number 6. Duck fat. The reason French southwestern cuisine remained healthful through centuries of heavy eating. Duck fat is roughly 50% monounsaturated, almost identical to olive oil in fatty acid composition. It has a high smoke point ideal for searing, and unlike modern seed oils, does not oxidize easily into compounds researchers have studied for inflammatory effect. Confit, the slow cooking of meat submerged in its own fat, was originally a preservation technique. The meat keeps for months under a sealed layer of duck fat. But before we keep going, I need to tell you something real quick. My wife bet me I'd never hit 1,000 subscribers. She says I'm too old for YouTube and that nobody wants to watch a guy my age. So, if this video is helping you out, hit that subscribe button and help me shut her up at the dinner table. Alright, let's get back to it. Number 5. Goose fat. The cold weather fat of Central and Northern Europe. Polish, Hungarian and German households rendered goose fat in autumn and kept it through winter, eating it spread on dark bread with salt. Goose fat carries a remarkable concentration of arachidonic acid, a fatty acid critical for brain function and immune signaling. Traditional medicine of the region prescribed warmed goose fat rubbed into the chest for bronchitis. The vapor opens airways, the warmth penetrates skin, and the fat absorbs slowly, carrying fat-soluble nutrients with it. Number 4. Lard. And here is the connection I promised. When Roald Amundsen reached the South Pole in 1911 and returned alive, his Norwegian team had been eating roughly 5,000 calories a day, the bulk from rendered animal fats, including lard. Scott's British expedition, refusing what they considered peasant food, relied on lean protein and biscuits and died on the way back. Pork lard is roughly 40% monounsaturated and contains meaningful vitamin D when the pig was pastured. It produces the flakiest pastry of any fat ever used, and traditional Spanish, Italian and Mexican households cooked nearly everything in it for centuries with no rise in heart disease until industrial substitutes appeared. If this kind of restoration of forgotten food knowledge matters to you, hit subscribe before we reach the final 3. Number 3. Bone marrow. Not a rendered fat, but a fat-rich food in its own right and the oldest animal food in the human record. Paleolithic sites show our ancestors cracking long bones for marrow before they were eating muscle meat consistently. Marrow contains conjugated linoleic acid, collagen precursors, and a unique compound called alkyl glycerols, studied for immune support. Roast marrow bones at 450 degrees for 15 minutes. Scoop the soft warm marrow onto toasted bread with sea salt and parsley. It is the original superfood, predating agriculture by more than 1 million years. Number 2. Cod liver oil. The fat that ended rickets across northern Europe. By the 1920s, British and Norwegian researchers had documented that a single teaspoon of cod liver oil daily prevented the bone deformities that crippled industrial-era children. The mechanism is vitamin D and vitamin A in their bioavailable forms, alongside long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA in concentrations. No plant source can replicate. Fermented cod liver oil retains the most original nutrients. The taste is intense. A morning teaspoon is enough. Number 1. Beef tallow. The fat the modern world declared war on in 1990 when McDonald's, under public pressure, replaced beef tallow with hydrogenated vegetable oil in their French fries. The change was celebrated. The change was a disaster. Beef tallow is roughly 50% saturated, stable at high heat, and contains conjugated linoleic acid, vitamin K2, and stearic acid, which research has identified as actually lowering LDL cholesterol when consumed in whole food form. It was the cooking fat of every traditional culture that raised cattle, from the Highland Scots to the Argentinian gauchos to American homesteaders. It produces the crispest potatoes and the smoothest skin balms ever made. To render it, simmer beef suet, the hard fat around the kidneys, in a heavy pot for several hours until you have a clear golden liquid that sets snow white. It lasts a year on a cool shelf without refrigeration. The honest point running through every fat on this list is straightforward and difficult to dispute. The fats your great-grandmother kept were not a mistake. The replacements were. The damage that arrived in the 20th century with industrial seed oils is still being measured today. Render one this week. Tell me in the comments which one is going on your stove first.